We have Jordan DeFrank here from FamilyFun Magazine, and she will be joining us. This is the first time we've done a craft section on National Can It Forward Day, so we're really excited with Pinterest booming, and I'm sure you probably see a ton of things on our Facebook and Pinterest. This is a perfect opportunity for Jordan to show off some fun tricks and things to do with our jars. So you take it away.
All right, hi. My name is Jordan DeFrank. I'm with FamilyFun Magazine, and I'm thrilled to show you some of our favorite crafts. At FamilyFun, we love crafting with ball jars. They're really sturdy and inexpensive, and they just look really great. They work well, easy to work with. So we're going to show you just a few of our favorites. You can find other great ideas at familyfunmag.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, the whole 9 yards. And if you want to tweet about this event, don't forget our hashtag, CanItForward. Also, like she mentioned, if you want to buy your favorite ball jars right now at freshpreservingstore.com, you'll get 10% off, free shipping on orders of $25 or more. So go ahead and stock up on your favorites. So let's get started. The first craft that I want to show you today is this hanging lantern. It's really easy to make, and the best part about our crafts is that we always want to come up with something that parents and kids can do together. So there are lots of steps that kids can really help out with. Kids ages 3 to 12 is our focus at FamilyFun. But the other thing is that these crafts, even if you don't have kids, they're fun to do and look great. So these lanterns are great for a backyard patio, a birthday party, just to decorate. They're just really fun. So to start, we're going to use a pint-sized ball jar. You can also use a smaller one here, as I've made this guy over here. But pint size is the best. So first, we're going to decorate it with some stripes. So you can either take strips of fabric, like I have cut here, and use a glue stick to make your designs. But one of my favorite methods, one of my favorite craft materials, is this washi tape here. So if you're not familiar, this is a repositionable low stick tape. So it's really cute, comes in lots of great colors, and you'll see that if you make a mistake or if you don't get it quite lined up right, it's really easy to take it off and move it, make it just the way you want it. So a great step for kids because it's really easy. And see here, I just stuck it on there, it comes right off. Okay, so that's our first step, and just do whatever pattern you like. So then we're going to take some 24 gauge wire here, a length of that, and you're going to wrap it around the neck 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to, you're going to twist it together like this, twist it really nice together. Like that, okay? And so then we're going to take 3 12-inch lengths of that same 24 gauge wire. Going to loop that around what we've already put around our neck. So, and then you're going to twist just like I did before to make it really sturdy. And so I have a few already done here. So like this, just give it a really good twist. This is what we're going to use to hang it. Okay, so from here, and here's another great step for kids to help out with, we're going to string on some beads. Any pattern will work. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the exact same order, just whatever will look great. Get on there. Okay. So you're going to go around and do beads all the way around. But just to show you guys the next step, I'm just going to pull these up and make sure they're all pretty much the same length here, and they are. Okay. So we're going to take a large bead, like we have right here, and we're going to string it onto all 3 strands. Let's see if I can get that on. Okay. There we go. So pull it down a little bit, just like this. Try and get it even. Okay, then we're going to twist all these strands together, just like that. I'll use my finger as a guide to make this loop right here. Loop it over, and we're going to twist one more time to create a loop. And so then you're going to take your final product here, fill it with these flat glass marbles, and then put in a tea light. Today we've used a battery-operated tea light, but you can use a regular candle, whatever you want. It looks really cute. Our favorite tip for if you are using an actual candle is to take an uncooked piece of spaghetti. This is a grown-up's job, by the way. Light the end of it, and it's an easy way to get down there in the ball jar without, getting your hands stuck or anything like that. So it's our lighting tip. And again, these are great for your backyard, hanging, and you can just make a ton of them of all different shapes and different designs, and it just is adorable and really fun. Good for kids to help out. So any questions on this craft? Okay, so I'll move on to my next craft over here, which is also super simple and really fun. So this is a twig vase. A ball jar works great as a vase just on its own. Obviously, you can put some fresh flowers in here. It looks great. But if you want to take it a little bit further, you have your kids go out in the backyard and collect some twigs. Super easy. And get them to be approximately the same length. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, crafts a lot of times I think look a little bit better when they're not quite perfect, when there's a little handmade quality to it. So then what you're going to do is take your jar, just simply wrap a rubber band around the outside, just like this. And this makes it really easy to go through. Put in your sticks all the way around. So maybe this one's a little long, and trim it down. Okay, so here's one that I have that I've gone most of the way. So you'll see, I'm just gonna finish this one up real quick. So this just gives your vase a little, rustic look. Great for a centerpiece for the holidays to put on your table. And one of the best parts about this craft is that when you're finished, you can just disassemble it, and you still have your ball jar that you can use for any other activity that you want. So no glue, nothing like that. Okay. So to cover up this rubber band, we can either use raffia or twine, whatever you want. Looks great on your table. I like using a nice piece of wide ribbon, real easy. So just tie that on. There you go, and you're gonna just throw in your fresh flowers, and again, this just looks great on your table, really easy for kids to help out with. Same as this, there are lots of steps that the kids can help, or you can just do it on your own. Takes no time at all and looks great in your house, your backyard, your table, all of the above. So any questions about crafting or family fun? Okay, again, if you want to find any more of our ideas, go to familyfunmag.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest. We like to come up with lots of different ideas with ball jars. We have lots more coming up, and we have more on our website and on Pinterest. So check those out. And yeah.
Actually, we still have a few more minutes, so if there's anything else, any questions? You guys had questions for me. Come
It
on.
can be about canning as well, not just crafting. See, that's how easy these crafts are, is you can just get them done like that.
Right. Have you seen our Ball Heritage Blue Jars? Yes. They're new this season, so it's something they're only out for this 1 year. So if you do follow us on Pinterest, you'll probably see a lot of these everywhere. They come in a package of 6. So again, if you want to use that code EasyToCan13 on freshpreservingstore.com, something to think about, because once they're gone, they're gone. So you want to get your hands on these. They're pretty awesome. And so any of these crafts you could probably even do.
Oh, definitely. These would look great as a lantern. They would look really cute. Also, just as a regular vase for flowers, the blue would be wonderful. Yeah, and you can use different colored marbles in here to make a nice summery, a summery craft or decoration.
Well, you have that blue ribbon. It's like,
yeah, that would look great.
And that yellow would be awesome
Yep.
with it. Perfect. Perfect for your summer.
And lots of these different, materials that would go really well.
Ooh, I love that orange, the complementary colors.
Yeah.
That would be so neat. So that's something to think about too, even when you see crafting ideas. That's a great thing about crafting, is you can always kind of take your own spin on it.
Oh, definitely,
too.
yeah. Really customizable. You were mentioning tailgating. This would work, for your tailgate. Put your favorite team colors on it, and yeah, put that as your centerpiece.
Right. Or you can drink out of them. And the great thing too, if you've seen our old antique jars, they had the nice wire bail, or they had this big old antique looking one-piece cap. that's something that, we don't recommend canning in those anymore. So they would be great for crafting. Awesome for crafting. They're beautiful. So again, make them lanterns. They'd be great with your flowers and again, the ribbon. So that's something to think about too. And also with the newer jars, they are safe for home canning. So if you do like that blue color, something to think about. You can actually go ahead and home can in these. Something I didn't mention before, jars of the shoulder, right here. You don't want to freeze in these. But otherwise, canning and just dry storage, awesome. Or drinking mugs. They're great drinking mugs too. So I love the fabrics that you have. Just all the texture.
Yeah, these work really well. You can do different shapes and sizes, different thickness. And you could, go up and down the whole thing or just do one stripe down the middle. It would be great actually for Halloween,
Beautiful.
looking at this now with the orange, to do in your driveway or on your front porch for Halloween. That would be great. It really could work for anything.
Well, and Halloween will be here before you know it.
I know, right?
Unfortunately. Oh, we have a question over here, actually, Meredith.
Are those blue jars on sale anywhere here in the green market?
That I'm not sure, but if you step by the visitor tent, someone down there may actually have that answer for you. You're very welcome. And I think we have a social media question maybe too.
We do have a social media question. We also have our first giveaway winner, Judy T. from Sonoma, California. Congratulations.
Judy, congratulations. I'll give her applause. Yay.
And Judy will get an email from us confirming her prize.
Fantastic.
And we did have a question also on social media. Carol asked about recipes on how to make jelly that is sugar-free for those of us who are diabetic.
That's a great question. So going back to that canning demo, we do have recipes that you can use our low, no sugar pectin. And so the great thing about that is you have the flexibility to make it as sweet or as more tart maybe as you would like. So it's low, no sugar pectin. It comes in a flex batch container, which is great because you can make 1 jar, 10 jars, whatever you have. I know personally if I go pick some berries, I may not have enough to do 6 jars. So I crush my berries, see what my yield is, and then I can go on to freshpreserving.com. We have a pectin calculator tool, and that'll let you know how much pectin to use and how many jars you'll need. So we have all kinds of things for everybody, from crafts to canning to some pickles and all kinds of fun things. So this was awesome. I really enjoyed this part.
Thanks. Yeah, the uses are just kind of infinite. You can do so many different things and just, keep them forever or change it up, do something else with them.
Tailgate, that's what I'll be doing. So I guess that kind of wraps up your section. Thank you so
Great,
much for
thank
helping
you
us
so
out.
much.
And you do come back and join us later,
Yes,
don't
I'm
you?
going to have a couple more crafts later on to show you some another cute lantern craft and something for your family pet.
That is awesome. So this is like your last opportunity. No one?
Any craft store like Michael's, yeah, and I think these were all for Michael's, so you can see the variety you can get. Sure, yeah. You can see they're great for crafting again because they're repositionable, low stick. Yeah, lots of great uses.
Thanks. And I'll also mention, I love using the battery operated candles. If you have children around, or maybe you're kind of like me and get busy and forget.
Yeah,
This is a good, safe way to make sure that you don't have to experience any kind of, unforeseen activities such as running from a fire. So something to think about. This is a great, whether you use jars or not, something that's always nice to have around the house, especially with kids or pets. I have a cat.
Yeah.
She would definitely she'd get interested and want to know what's going on. So perfect for that. And then any other questions online or anything before we switch it on over? Nothing else coming in? So here we go. We'll let Jordan take it away.
All right, great. Thanks so much for having me. I'm glad to be back to show you a couple more great family fun crafts made with ball jars. Again, we love using this in our crafts. It's really, really great for an assortment of different crafts and different holidays and different uses that we really love. So I showed you earlier a nice, beautiful vase and these hanging lanterns. And here is another lantern idea made with ball jars. This is a painted lantern that has so many different uses. Basically, what we're going to do is create a pattern with masking tape, or I mentioned this earlier, you can also use washi tape, this great repositionable low stick tape. Make a pattern, paint over it, wait for that paint to dry, and peel it off, and you're going to have a great pattern. So let's get started. Okay, so one trick that we have at Family Fun for making these patterns out of masking tape, we take parchment paper and take strips of masking tape and layer them on top of each other to make sort of the sheet. So I just made my own masking tape sheet here, and I'm going to cut some shapes. So you can really do any shape you want. I'm going to do hearts because they're pretty easy, but you could do stars, you could do your child's initial, you could do stripes, you could do all sorts of things. We actually have, for Halloween, we use the same craft, but instead of shapes, we will cut out little triangles for a jack-o'-lantern face and paint it orange, peel off your jack-o'-lantern face, and we call them our Jaro-lanterns. So that's great for Halloween, but for now we're just gonna do a little pattern made of hearts. So once you cut out your shape, you are gonna peel off the parchment paper from the back. It's kind of tricky to get it just right. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna skip ahead here. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead to one that I've already put some shapes on and I've painted over. So once you wait for it to dry, you're gonna peel off that tape to reveal your shapes. So here, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I think it looks a little better. If it's kind of rustic, it looks really handmade. It's gonna look great on your mantle. See, look how cute. And it's so easy. Kids will love to help out with this. So here's the finished product. Again, I have one where I've just made some stripes out of washi tape. I am going to take some paint, using my ball jar lid actually as a paint palette here. And it's just impossible to make a mistake. You just totally freeform it. Just make whatever pattern you want. So again, for this I would just go all the way around, wait for it to dry. And then when you peel that tape off, you're gonna have a really beautiful lantern to put in a candle, a tea light. Right now, for today, we're doing battery-operated tea lights. Super, super easy. Just toss it in there, and you don't have to worry about a flame, but you certainly can if you want to. So these are our jar lanterns here. Again, any holiday. It could be in your windowsill. It could be anything you want, any design. So those are our jar lanterns. So I'm going to move over here to this craft right here, which is a container for pet treats for your family pet. For your dog or your cat, you're going to make this little guy, and it's super easy, and your kids then are going to love helping feed the dog or cat or, give them a treat. And so this is the final product. So let's get started. Okay, so you are going to use your ball jar lid as a guide to make your face. So what I'm going to do is take my ball jar and just sort of trace it to make a circle. And this is just going to show me around approximately the size that I need to cut. Okay? And for this, I like using stiff felt. You can use regular felt if you want to, but the stiff felt really makes so that the shapes stay, the tail, everything stays just where you want it to be. So again, you can use regular felt, but I kind of like to use stiff felt for this craft. Another step that the kids can do, cutting out this shape, and you can do a cat, a dog. If you have a pet snake, I probably can't help you out, but. So I'm just gonna freeform it here. Okay. So I'm almost done here cutting out my face for our pet jar. Okay, so here's some examples of the face for the pet. Now the next step is I am going to glue on using tacky glue, just simple tacky glue. I'm going to glue on button eyes, just a dab. Button eyes. And then I have a little piece of felt cut out to make a nose. Super easy. Really fast. And then I'm just using black fabric marker here to make his mouth and some little details. drawing these on. Okay, see how fast that was? Now here is our little buddy's face. Okay, so the next step is we are gonna glue onto the front of this ball jar lid, and what I like to do with this craft is go ahead and glue the two parts of the lid together. Makes it easier. I don't want it falling apart and moving around while I'm trying to, do this part. So we're just gonna take that same tacky glue, do one thin stripe. You kind of want to err on the side of a thinner stripe of glue because you don't want that glue to soak through, and you don't want it to come through the felt and it might, dry and show up, and you don't want that. Oops, I did the wrong side. Okay, so then for the collar that you see right here, we're just going to take a strip of felt. And just a thin strip of that tacky glue. Go all the way around the edge. Just going to trim off this excess here. Okay. Okay, so then after it dries, screw it on, you have the face. And then you're just gonna, from that same stiff felt, cut a shape of a tail, glue that on with tacky glue, and then to keep it sturdy and not rolling over when you have it on your pantry shelves, we're gonna take 4 large buttons, you see like this, and use the same tacky glue. There's almost no, extra materials. It's really easy. And just glue on his little feet. And you're gonna wanna leave it upside down for about 30 minutes to really let it dry before you flip it over. Then once everything is all dry and finished, he sits right like that in your pantry. And again, you can do a cat, a dog, whatever you want. And it's so fun. The kids love to help out. And it's just really, really easy. And there's so many uses for these ball jars in the crafting world. And it's really trendy now, actually, to use ball jars for crafting. You see it on Pinterest everywhere. You see all these different ideas. They're inexpensive. They're sturdy. It's made from tempered glass, so when you're using a candle, you're going to be safe. It is just really versatile. And again, if you want to see some more of our ideas, check out FamilyFunMag.com. Also, Pinterest. We're on Pinterest, as is everyone, I guess, these days. So popular. So Pinterest.com/FamilyFunMag. You can see all of our ideas, including some ball jar ideas. And we're on Twitter and Facebook as well. So does anyone have any questions about crafting or any of these crafts? All right.
I'll come back and hang out with you for a little bit. That's the beauty of live demos. You never know what's going to happen. So we got to fill a little bit of time here before our big guest gets out here. But that's okay. We could talk crafts. So I can't plug this one enough just because I do think it's such a beautiful jar. So I just imagine if you were to paint this jar, I mean, who would want to paint it? But let's say you decided you wanted to, and then having that blue hue coming through.
The blue shining through with the candle, that'd be really great.
And shine through, that's kind of our mantra. So with canning and decor and stuff, it's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to show you guys, now that this acrylic paint has pretty much dried, it's really fast drying. Just kind of show you how easy it is. You just peel back, and you're going to get these great stripes. And again, you can do this with the blue jar or a plain jar, whatever you want. If you just have extras lying around, you can keep it forever.
Well, that's the thing too. Like maybe you are into home canning already, and maybe you have a chip jar or a crack jar that you can't use for canning any longer. This would be a great opportunity to repurpose that jar. We see a lot of things on even our Pinterest page where people are repurposing their jars, or even the bands. I've seen people use the bands and the lids as ornaments for Christmas trees. They paint them, or like I remember doing this actually in elementary school, and that ornament still is on my mom's tree every year with my second grade picture. That's not embarrassing at all on it. But we took a band and had a piece of paper we taped or glued behind it with our picture, and it had the year or whatever. And as cheesy as it was, those are the kind of keepsakes. Then you have that emotion with it that goes back.
And you're just going to keep it forever, and you're going to think of that every time you look back at those keepsakes.
Right, and every year when I still help my mom decorate her Christmas tree, and it's just I get it out, I'm like, really? You still have this? But she has one with my brother, and it's just one of those things, so it's always really cool to do.
One of my favorite other ball jar ideas, there's so many, One of my favorite ideas is whenever you go on vacation, so let's say to the beach or anywhere where you can collect sand. I don't know if any of you collect sand when you go to different beach vacations. So you hold onto that sand, label it, and then when you get enough, you layer it in your ball jar and maybe use a little marker or tape and say maybe, Destin, Hawaii, whatever, write whichever destination it was. And have your layered sand, and then put your top on it and put it on your mantle, and then forever you have this keepsake for all your family vacations.
That'd be so really cute in that jar too, just because it has that height.
I was looking at this, I was like, this would be perfect.
Yeah, definitely. And I like to travel a little bit. I love the beach. If you're not aware, Jarden Home Brands, our office is in beautiful Daleville, Indiana, which I'm sure nobody's ever heard of. And there's just cornfields everywhere, whatever. So when I do vacation, I enjoy going to a beach, and that's something like my guest bathroom is beach themed. So something like that would be really cool to kind of make it even more personalized. Like when my guests come in, I could kind of show off and brag a little bit. My vacations, that would be a really cool idea.
And one of the great things about these jars is that it gives you kind of a vintage look, which is very trendy right now. Vintage, sort of like rustic. That's really in for home decorating and stuff. I know my mom still has her whole collection of ball jars that were her grandmother's, so my great-grandmother, really old, and they're just on display. They're too precious to actually can with.
That's
now
awesome.
because they're keepsakes that we've passed down in our family. So she has her whole collection sitting at home, in a place of honor. So you keep them forever and pass them down.
So cool. And you mentioned like having kind of that antique look. So this particular jar, if you've used this jar before, we brought it back last year. It was one of our new items from last season because we hadn't manufactured it in decades. And we had so many consumers who were like, I love that pint and a half. Maybe you have a smaller family and that was just a better size than doing quart jars. And we brought it back, and not only has it been an awesome, there's just been so much excitement about it on our Facebook page and whatnot for not only canning, but crafting. Again, I talk about our office quite a bit, but you walk around and you'll see all of us sitting with one of these as our water glass in the office. And
I'm from Louisiana, and we would always drink iced tea out of our ball jars growing up.
Anyone else out
Kind of
here
a
like
cliche,
drink out of ball jars? You should.
Yeah.
You should drink out of a ball jar. Oh, we have a question. Actually, we have a microphone. Give it just a second.
Back in the 40s and 50s, when we didn't have all these gadgets to put water in water bottles, that went out into the field for your water for the day when you were picking.
Right. See, exactly.
That was the original thing that we took out there to drink water.
Right.
We didn't have thermoses or anything.
Yeah. And it's so cool to see that. We've been around for like, I don't know, over 128 years or something now. There's so many people, whether you've canned or not, you've probably grown up knowing someone who did, or you've seen them in their home, or you've seen them somewhere in any antique store. You always see our jars. It's just so neat to work for a company that has so much heritage. I just take a lot of pride in that. I can remember my great aunt. She did canning all the time, and she even made a quilt I'll never forget. In every block, the fabric was cut to look like a ball jar, but it was like bubblegum fabric or licorice fabric. It was just really interesting. It was a really cool blanket. I took so much pride knowing that I worked for that company that meant so much to my great aunt and her huge family, and they were
so
farmers. Yeah, it's so neat. But they do make great drinking glasses, and we're right outside of Muncie, which is where Ball State is. So the Ball Brothers, Ball Jars, Ball State University. So if you're familiar with that, you'll see a lot of the college kids buying jars for their drinking glasses because it's more affordable to buy a case of jars than it is, to buy. And they don't need anything super fancy, right? So plastic cups maybe, but
they're just end up with a lot of, especially the larger ones. I know I have a lot of extras lying around because my grandmother has her garden. She grows tomatoes. She grows so many vegetables, more vegetables than she can use, and so she sends each of the grandkids a big case of canned tomatoes, zucchini, squash pickles every year. And so I end up with all these ball jars, and I use them not only to make jams and to do crafts, but I use them to have my flour, my sugar, for in my pantry, and put them on display with, the sugar, flour, oats, whatever, and have that in my pantry. It's another little rustic touch that I love that reminds me of
It's a little
home.
crafty.
Yeah.
I've actually seen, maybe you have seen these things too, where people will actually take the lid and band and adhere it to like a piece of wood or something, and then you can screw your jar like in your garage if you have like nuts or bolts or nails. So like even in the garage, they could be masculine. We don't have to make them all like girly with flowers and paint and whatever. I mean, they're so multifunctional. They're dishwasher safe, And actually why I have this opportunity, any jar with a straight side, so like this jar would be freezer safe. So this jar has what I like to call a shoulder on it. You can probably see that little bit of a bow. So just like a human, we have a neck and shoulders. So any jar that has a neck and shoulders, if you freeze in it, you'll probably experience jar breakage. So just a fun little fact that has nothing to do with crafting.
So would these right here be freezer safe?
Yes,
Because they're
ma'am.
straight too?
Yeah, so
Okay.
anything that's straight like that, and most of our packaging does stay on there, but if you've maybe acquired some jars, just kind of a rule of thumb, straight-sided will definitely be safe for freezing. So that's one of the things I love about our products is that they're so versatile.
Yeah.
They're so versatile. Has anyone here been to a wedding lately where you've seen ball jars as like a centerpiece? Yes, okay, we've got a few hands. We see it a lot in the Midwest, actually. At a garden party. Uh-huh. And they're,
I love it.
and you can really make them look very eloquent in that. And actually, do we have a question or? Oh, get that mic on.
We actually have the second giveaway winner.
Oh, yay!
Lisa A. from Baltimore, Maryland won a Rick's Picks pickle pack with 5 cases of canning jars, the Ball Collection Elite Canner, and a supply of Heinz vinegar.
Oh, that is fantastic.
And I was at a wedding 2 weeks ago in Sonoma with the blue heritage jars as the centerpiece.
Oh, well, see, yeah, they're beautiful for that too.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you're going to a baby shower and it's a boy,
Oh, that's funny.
right? Wouldn't that be super cute?
It'd be great to serve lemonade, you know.
Right? That
really
would be
pretty. Yeah.
awesome. Well, I think that's all of it for our crafting section. So let's give Jordan a hand for helping
Thank
us
you
out with
so
some
much for
crafting
having me.
ideas. It's been a lot of fun. So we actually, I think, have another giveaway coming up. Let me make sure I get the question. So this, just like every other time today, there has been a giveaway, and it's posted if you're watching online in the feed there, and it'll come from Ball Canning. And for this one, the third giveaway, you get an autographed copy of Ted Allen's most recent book, In My Kitchen, a case of Ted's favorite jars, because, you know, Ted is kind of a big deal. And he'll be with us here in a second. So you get a book, you get his favorite jars, you get a home discovery kit. So if you were here earlier, you may have seen me using the home discovery kit. It is a great little box full of everything you need to get started, whether you're doing small batch or maybe you just want to get started. It's a very low investment, so it's a great place to get started. 3-pint jars, a little canning basket, recipe book. Awesome. It's one of my favorite products, and I use it a lot when I'm using my jammer just because it holds 4 8-ounce jars perfectly, which is what you make with the jammer. So I love that one. And our new dry herb keeper, which is something that's really exciting. And some of you may have seen it, but it's a cute 4-ounce jar, smooth-sided, so it's different than our quilted crystal, but it is safe for canning. And it has a plastic lid that's BPA-free, and the little lid pops up so you can shake all of your dry herbs. So if you're into growing your own herbs, drying your own herbs, or maybe you come to the farmer's market and you buy them and dry them, it's a great product to have, and I know we've had a lot of excitement about it on our website, freshpreserving.com, on our Facebook page, it's Ball Canning, Pinterest, everything's at Ball Canning. Which reminds me, actually, too, you want to make sure that you use the hashtag #CanItForward to join the conversation. So hashtag #CanItForward is the place to be today.
You actually reminded me, another thing that at Family Fun we love about using ball jars is that they are BPA free.
Right.
And so if you're handling them with your kids, you know that it's safe, that there's nothing to worry about, and that even if, you know, kind of put it in their mouth or something, like it's going to be okay, and it's just a safe, great material to work with.
Yeah, and that was something we made that change to our lids just recently. So you'll see that on the packaging now, and I know we had a lot of consumers who were very passionate about that, and we listened to them. It's something that's not federally regulated at this point, so that was just something we did to be proactive, and now we have BPA-free lids, so that's awesome for so many people, and we're super excited about it. That was a great point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, we love to do green crafts and not let anything go to waste. So again, if there's a chip or a crack, we want to be able to use this for something and not, you know, not lose it. So.
Well, yeah, and if you have any tips or anything too, post those with our hashtag #CanItForwardDay and share them with everyone else.